Well, by golly, this movie wasn't terrible.
The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep people safe?
Okay, so around 7:30 last night, I got the chance to see Thunderbolts ***. For a spoiler-free review, this movie was awesome. I absolutely adore this movie. This is definitely one of the best movies Marvel has put out in the last few years. I think this tops Deadpool & Wolverine. I think it tops Guardians. I think it's actually on the same level as Guardians Volume 3. It's definitely better than Brave New World. It's definitely better than the Marvels. It's one of the best Phase 5 movies we've seen. There are some negatives, but there are a lot of positives. I think there's more positives than negatives in this. I think some of the positives are going to be negatives to some people. Now, that being said, let's just start basic positives. Number one, the acting. The acting's actually pretty good. Like, I think some stars in this movie, especially Florence Pugh, could potentially at least get some Oscar noms. These are characters on paper that should not be getting along with each other. And they don't. But just like all the Guardians movies, they managed to make these characters not only enjoyable to watch, but work off each other without making it seem like, oh yeah, they're just writing that to make it a funny moment. No, that genuinely feels like a comment one of these characters would say to another character. Especially with David Harbour and Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier and Red Guardian. They work the best off of each other. I think really that's the best dynamic in the movie. Same goes for Yelena and Bob. But yeah, the characters in this movie were actually very surprising. I was not expecting the movie to be as character-driven as it was. This movie is not really an action movie in my eyes. I mean, yeah, there's action in it, but from what I recall, there's only like four big action scenes. There's an action scene in the very beginning with Yelena. There's an action scene that we've seen all over the trailers in the burning room where they're all about to get incinerated. And then there's a big action scene in Red Guardian's limo. And then there's a big action scene right before the climax. That's really it. I mean, yeah, there's a little action sprinkled throughout, but there's not really a scene dedicated to action apart from those. This movie is 100% character-driven. And to me, that's fine. I 100% thought that was a great breath of fresh air for the MCU. I think it's exactly what it needed in order to move forward, because, let's be honest, I think the formula of just cool action happening isn't really what people want anymore, especially with how Brave New World came out, because that movie is actually the complete opposite of Thunderbolts. It had too much action and very little character. I don't think the Marvel community is going to be like 100% praising this movie. This could be a boring movie to some people, because it is 2 hours and 6 minutes of getting to know some of the worst characters in the MCU and getting them the redemption that they need, because this movie would not have worked if it wasn't like that. Because, like I said, all these characters, apart from Yelena and some people like David Harbour, and obviously Bucky, but every other character in this movie, people have shat on. This movie needed to be character-driven. But then, like I said, it's 2 hours and 6 minutes of pretty much getting to know these characters in like 3 different places. Like, the first act, they're in this certain area for pretty much the entirety of the first act and some of the second act. They're just trying to get out of this certain locked area, and we're trying to get to know these characters. It's a therapy trauma dump, pretty much. An exposition therapy session for the audience, so we can understand why these characters are the way they are. But that can get boring to some people, especially if you're a Marvel fan, because there's not really many Marvel movies out there that really tackle the MCU formula in this kind of a way. This movie did feel very A24 to me. Because it was just a bunch of characters that on paper would not be enjoyable to watch. And them just going through, like, absolutely visceral trauma. Like, I'm surprised they actually were able to do some things in this movie, especially with Bob's character, with how Disney is about, you know, like, cocaine and Deadpool and Wolverine. They didn't allow him to do that. They only allowed him to make jokes about it. There are certain points in this movie where people are on meth. I'm serious. And they're not just on meth. They are on meth. It was kind of funny, but still, this character was on meth, and we see why he was on meth, and it's like Moon Knight episode 5 levels of holy shit. It's only shown like a couple of seconds on why he was on meth, but we see him on meth, and it's funny, but still, like, Marvel got away with that. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are done in this movie that aren't just your normal, like, oh, my parents died, or, oh, I was experimented as a child, or, oh, I was experimented on in general. Oh, I was a science experiment gone wrong. Yeah, that stuff's in there, but it's, like, elevated. There's a character that got divorced, but it wasn't just he got divorced. No. He lost his child, his wife left him, he lost his house, pretty much lost his whole life. Another example. A character goes through a midlife crisis, like, they just don't know what to do with their life. And it's exaggerated to, yeah, I got my friends shot as an 8-year-old, I got them, I set them up for murder, I killed people for sport, I did all sorts of bad shit because of my midlife crisis. Like I said, how the fuck did they get away with that? Because there are many dead children in this movie. I think children die, like, 4 or 5? I want to say? Yeah, granted, we see the same child die, like, a couple of times, but still, we see child murder a good amount in this movie. It's crazy what they get away with. It wasn't just normal Marvel MCU, like, beginning, middle, end, oh, they need to make some jokes here, they need to make some jokes here, they need to learn their life lessons here. No, they do some of that, but they do it in a different and more refreshing way. And the thing is, I don't know if people are going to be fine with that. I think it's what people wanted, but I don't know if they wanted it handled in this kind of a way. But it has Marvel-ness to it. It has MCU, flavor, or I wouldn't say flavor. It has MCU bullshit written all over it, but it's done in a way that's actually refreshing to watch and actually enjoyable to watch. Like I said, I don't know if people are gonna like that. This is definitely Sentry and Yelena's movie. Yes, the other characters have stuff to do in the movie, physically, but not really emotionally. US Agent has a couple of moments sprinkled in there, but he doesn't really grow from it. It's more as he's able to finally release it. But like characters like Ghost and Bucky, they don't really get much to do emotionally. And then as goes for Bucky, I gave him a pass because he doesn't really need to do much growing. Because the arcs the characters have in this movie are arcs Bucky already had. It's not more or less Bucky is there for his own character growth, but he is there for helping these other characters grow. And same with Red Guardian. He's there because, well, Yelena needed a dad. And there's a moment I did shed a tear. I didn't really cry, like it wasn't like Endgame Tony Stark funeral levels of tears, but it made me a little sad. I mean, it was a pretty good scene, it had some good acting in it, and if you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. But it is scenes like those that do, help the justification of why characters like Bucky and Red Guardian are in this. They don't really need the character growth, but they're there to help the other characters grow, and it serves them a point. Okay, when I did post my review on Letterboxd and Rotten Tomatoes, I did say 2 negatives. One being, I already said minimal growth from select characters, but there were a lot of plot conveniences in this movie. So Ghost and there's another character, an assistant character, that pretty much just allow for easy plot conveniences, and it is very lazy. It is definitely the weakest part of the movie, the amount of plot conveniences these characters do get, because like for about a half an hour to 45 minutes, more than half of the characters are in a select area in I think an Area 51 kind of area. And, it's like already 45 minutes into the movie, so it's like we need a reason for like said characters to meet up with these characters, and it's just solved with a phone call and an eavesdropping situation. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna say it, a couple syllables. I liked how they did Taskmaster in this. I did. I really did. I'm not going to really go into depth on how they handled the character, but just know it was handled incredibly well. I absolutely loved it. Not being sarcastic, I'm serious. And if you've seen the movie, then I hope you agree with me too. But I liked it. I loved how it was handled. Some good action. She had some good character scenes. She had a great arc. She definitely was the best handled character in this movie, and I really appreciated how this character, how she got her redemption. I'm really glad. I was really glad. I really did. And I liked how the movie treated the situation as well with her character. Because the movie knows that the fans hated her, and well, I liked how the movie handled it. There is one thing that I think that would make this movie 10 times better, but I don't think it has anything to do with the script. The fact that it's PG-13. Because there are so many moments in this movie that are just screaming to be rated R, that are screaming to be James Gunn, that are screaming, absolutely dying to be the Suicide Squad. Characters die, when they die in this movie, you do kind of see it. They don't really show it off screen, especially with a certain female character, who actually I don't remember the name of, not gonna lie, she was that little of an impact on me, but when we see a character die in this movie, it's like, oh my god, that would've been so much better to see if it was rated R, because we see some blood, but it's not a lot. I'd rather have been like, oh man, splatter all over the lens and the wall and the head exploding and, that, but anyway. So, to sum it up, all the positives: directing, screenwriters, the acting, some being Oscar-worthy, not all. I don't think they'd be Oscar, winners, but at least nominated would be nice, especially with Yelena and Bob. I think people would be shaky on the Bob part, but I absolutely loved his performance as Bob Reynolds in this. But I think everyone can unanimously agree Florence Pugh fucking deserves an Oscar in general. And I think this movie is definitely, just more proof that she needs one. Yeah, great acting, great script, great story. Actually fine story. Great directing, especially for a first-time action director. And just, it has a lot of heart. It felt like watching a Phase 1, Marvel movie, where it was like a small scale stuff in the beginning, it's a bunch of characters that don't really get along with each other. A bunch of characters we met in previous movies finally coming together, and, learning to work off each other and all that kind of stuff. And then, a big tease for the future at the end. Final verdict, it's definitely, Jesus Christ, sound like fucking Angry Joe. No, but the final verdict, I didn't mean to say it like that because that is 100% their thing. 8 out of 10, 100%. I gave it an A-, definitely an A- movie. It's a fun time. It has some Marvel humor in it, but for the most part, most of the humor lands. It's a fun time. You might shed a tears at a couple of scenes, and it's definitely a surprising Marvel film. But other than that, I'm gonna go into my spoiler stuff, so I will see you all in that video. I'll probably put it right here, maybe? Oh wait, no, I have an ending screen. Never mind. Fuck off then. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.